What's up, everybody? Alex here with a freshly brewed cup of joe. As many of you know, I have a pretty small collection overall, and my style of collecting is maybe best described as haphazard and eclectic, since I kind of bounce around everywhere grabbing the cards that I'm most drawn to. Most recently, I picked up two cards. This stunning blue of the 1954 Red Hearts card, Minnie Minoso, one of the most eye-catching cards in this incredible set, a card that I've admired for a long time and was finally able to acquire. And also this beautiful 1954 Bowman of, yes, Minnie Minoso, a card that I've always wanted. The color combinations, the pose, Minoso's giant glove front and center, and Minoso himself looking ready to get in the game really convinced me that this card should be in my collection. And that's when I surprised myself and realized that I really do have quite a few Minoso cards. I'm not really a player collector, and I'm not trying to do a player run here, but I've unintentionally gotten quite a few of his mainstream cards. So, beyond looking at these beautiful pieces of cardboard, I thought, what better way to honor these cards and the player that they represent than to chat with Orlando from A Collector's Dream to share some of his thoughts and cards of Orestes Minnie Minoso. When you think of Minnie Minoso, where does your mind go first?
Well, it just goes back to the really the Negro League times and the times of the Jackie Robinson era. I think that was a very, very important time in the history of baseball and really the history of mankind, if you really think about it, because it just kind of something that really shocked the world. And Minnie Minoso was part of that. You had Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby, and then Minoso was signed in 1947. Over there in Cuba, all of the players, the black and the white, stayed at the same hotels. They were treated the same. And here it was a different situation. So he faced a lot of, I think, issues, that Jackie and the other guys faced. He was most known for his speed. I mean, he was an outfielder. He can literally catch anything. He's known as the Cuban Comet. That was his nickname when he came here. But he was a high average hitter. And even when he was in Cuba, he was, over 350. And also when he played in the Negro Leagues for the New York Cubans, he actually won the World Series in 1947 with the New York Cubans. And I think he batted 333 in that series.
What are some of your favorite Minoso cards?
Well, it's funny because my favorite of all has to be the 53 Bowman. I just love the card, and he signs it right along the bat there. He's looking up at the sky. So to me, that's pretty much my personal favorite. His rookie card is a Cuban card. It's the 1945-46 Caramelo Deportivos. This is when he played for the Cuban team, Marianao. There's an M on there that's what he played for. And at that time, he also played in the Negro League. So he would go back and forth. And the back is kind of beat up there because this was in an album. And it shows a young Minoso back in 1945 and 46. His second card also is a 1946-47 Caramelo Deportivo. And at this time, this is the year that he won the Negro League World Series with the New York Cubans. At this time, right after this, is when he was actually signed to play in the majors.
Looking back on his legacy, what do you think his legacy is?
Well, his legacy it's what's written on his Hall of Fame plaque. And if I could read it for you, I think that's going to tell you what it is. It says, Saturnino Orestes Minoso, electrifying left fielder from Cuba, blazed the path for generations of Latino ball players to follow. As the first dark-skinned Latin American to play in the American League or National League, he lifted the Negro League's New York Cubans to the 1947 championship before setting American League ablaze with his base running and clutch hitting for the Go-Go White Sox of the 1950s. He led the American League in stolen bases 3 times, triples 3 times, while earning 9 All-Star Game selections, 3 Gold Glove awards, and he returned to the White Sox to extend the big league career into 5 different decades. He's the Jackie Robinson of Latin American baseball players. After that came Roberto Clemente and all the other guys that came after him. When you want to call a ball player a lifer, he's a lifer. I mean, he started in a poor family cutting sugarcane, and became just one of the top players, in the world.
So there you have it. Thanks so much to Orlando for sharing his stories and cards, and if you're somehow not subscribed to him already, I've put a link to Orlando's channel in the description below. I'm probably done adding Minoso to my collection at this point, as these are my favorite of his career in the majors. Maybe one of these days I'll go ahead and try to add a Cuban card, thanks to inspiration from Orlando, but one thing's for certain, I will never be done learning about and enjoying Minoso's contribution to the game. One last thing, stick around for a quick tribute to Minoso's 55 Bowman from an earlier video I did, with a special shout out to my buddy Scott at Reindeer Studios. If you know, you know. Thanks for all the likes and comments, guys. They do mean a lot. Take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon.